The peace is dead in my soul. I have blamed the reasons for. My intentions poor. Yes, I'm the one who, the only one who, would carry on this far. Today, on my own podcast, we break down Torn. Very first time. Welcome to my own podcast, the only Creed podcast that we know of. My name is Andrew Colin, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Reid Fenlaw. What's up, Reid?
How's it going, Andrew?
It's going good. It's going good. We finally got this going, and I'm excited to get into Torn today.
Dude, we are here.
It happened.
It's a dream. It's a dream come true.
I think for many people, not just ourselves.
Yeah. So live through this if you need to. This is people who are listening, live through it with us.
Live through it.
Yeah,
breathe.
We're here.
Remember to breathe.
Yeah.
It's always an important factor.
Oh man. Yeah. This is I'm pumped.
For those that are maybe stumbling on this podcast for the first time, which is inevitable because this is the first episode, you're probably wondering, Creed, my own podcast, what the heck is this about? Well, we're going to give you an idea of what this is about right now. My name is Andrew Colin, as I mentioned at the top, and this, of course, is my friend, my co-host, my improvising buddy, Reid Fenlaw. Reid, why don't you tell the folks how we know each other and who we are?
Cool. I can do that.
That's your job, so I'd hope so.
Here we go. Let me do my job.
Okay.
Yeah, great. My name is Reid Fenlaw. Andrew and I met about 6.5 years ago.
Crazy.
At the Groundlings here in Los Angeles. We still perform together. We're part of an improv group, write sketch together, and we just really good friends.
Oh, sweet.
How long ago was it that we've always bonded over music a little bit, but it's more been like kind of the emo pop punk stuff that we from years past, but like we discovered at some point, like we both have a genuine affection for Creed.
I remember this one time we were performing in a show, I think, and I was in your car on the way there or something, and you were listening to All Time Low. And I was like, I groove with this. You like All Time Low? And you're like, dude, you don't? And I was like, well, now I do. I was pretty late to that party. And then I think shortly thereafter, we just kind of just like swapped music that we liked, and we both landed on the commonality of Creed. And
to be clear, this is not like Creed is kind of back in the zeitgeist of culture right now. This is not an ironic like of Creed. Like we both, I mean, I like grew up listening to them.
For sure. Like
songs resonated with me. Like I still very much enjoy their music. Like it's a genuine appreciation of music.
100%. I mean, did you just see that like Paramount Plus commercial the other day with Creed singing in it?
Incredible.
It's got like, it was awesome.
Tua is in it.
Yeah. Hey Arnold.
Yeah. What's the guy from not Super Troopers.
Oh, I know.
Reno 911.
Yes.
Who always wears the short shorts.
Yeah.
And
Drew Barrymore.
Creed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Drew Barrymore, Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot of big names, including Creed.
And Scott Stapp and Mark Germani are making their way back up that mountain.
They are.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, we're both people that genuinely love the music, and I think we appreciate the memes as well.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, it's all part of it, especially in modern culture. It's like, dude, it's kind of an honor to be memed.
For sure.
It's just relevance and attention means attention back on their music. Of course, they're embarking on a U.S. tour, like a 40-city U.S. tour. And I looked last night, and about like 40% of the dates are already sold out.
We'll be there, by the way.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah.
Closest one to L.A. is San Bernardino, I think.
That's worth the schlep.
Yeah. We'll be there for sure.
Yeah, I should say because, we got to get that out there. But we did write a sketch that sort of was a tribute in a way to Creed.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, the thrust of that was that you were auditioning for our band, and you were very unimpressive until you started going like, yeah. So it was like a 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're aware. We appreciate it. But at the end of the day,
I believe there was a Creed poster.
Yes, I made a Creed poster
behind the
for
audition
this.
table. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times.
We'll link to that somewhere in the episode description. So all that being said, I think we should get out there straight away that although we are Creed heads.
Wait, is that Is that the official term?
I don't
Is
know.
that like a decided upon think Creed heads? I don't know if it.
I don't know. I mean, there's deadheads. I feel like same amount of syllables, similar letter structure.
I think we're gonna have to workshop that.
Okay. I'll see if
Creedonians, Creeders,
Creeders is okay.
or Creeders.
Creeders.
Sounds like creatures and breeders.
Yeah, I don't really like that
Okay.
actually.
Maybe we'll table Creeders, but okay, we'll have to revisit that.
Yeah, we'll workshop that.
Creedonians, Creedites, Creed.
Well, anyway, like I was saying, although we're both Creed fans, let's leave it at that for now. We are not musical experts in any stretch of the imagination. I mean, do you play an instrument?
I grew up playing piano.
Oh, me too.
And actually used to like compete, like do
Compete.
I'd do competitions where like you go in a room and there's like 3 judges and you play one piece that you've prepared and they hand you sheet music and you have to cold read and play like on the spot a second piece and they score you.
I don't know why that is so bizarre to me because I feel like the point of an instrument is like to better yourself and to grow, but like just compete. I don't know. It's like playing football.
It was crazy. I'll never forget going to those rooms. And it's like just the little 3 judges at a table and a piano in a room, like not much bigger than the one we're in now.
That is wild. So it's like, Reed, wow, you really got a great rendition of the Fifth Symphony, Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, but you came in dead last. I hope you feel good about yourself.
Well, there was no last. It was like there was first, second, and third prizes, and then everyone else just got participation.
Oh,
so it's like no one knew who came in last unless there was like 4 people.
You know, there's some like crazy parent out there that's like, I need the standings. I need to know where my boy finished.
Yep. So I only did that until I was probably 9 though. And then I was playing too many sports. And my parents were like, you have to choose. You can't play soccer, basketball, baseball, and do piano.
The arts. So the first thing to go.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly wish they'd made me cut a sport and keep playing music.
Yeah, because like what, you're not going to play like football. Maybe.
I think I still could.
We'll leave that up to the viewers and listeners. I mean, that did look pretty impressive.
Thank you.
But yeah,
big pile of denim on my arm.
Yeah, but you could for sure. I mean, like play piano for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
I had a similar experience. I grew up playing piano as well. My teacher, I first had a teacher named Ron, and he was the man, and he just made me feel like so comfortable and have so much fun. And then things got serious when I had a different teacher that named Elena that was very strict and made me just feel like an idiot for not practicing.
Did she punch you?
No, not as far as I remember.
Okay.
And it's also hard to say. Like at one point I was younger and I was like new to the instrument. It was all rainbows.
At one point we were all younger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But by the time that Elena came into my life, I was like, preteen, teen. I didn't want to be doing it, so that could have added to the stress.
Yeah.
But
so what did you like do recitals and stuff?
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't do these competitions like.
Well, I did recitals too, but I also did the competitions.
Yeah, I did recitals, and I remember my jam was like Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. That's what I love to play. Ode to Joy. That was my jam.
I don't remember specifically I remember playing like Beethoven and Bach and Handel, but I don't remember like the names of stuff that I used to compete with.
Yeah, I don't really remember much other than that.
I try to block out a lot of my childhood.
We'll dive into that over the series.
Fuck.
Yeah, sorry, man.
That's okay.
But other than that, I play guitar recreationally. Still not very good, even though I've been playing for, a decade, a little more. So yeah, that all goes to say that we're not going to give a very detailed, intricate, intellectual sermon over, the music that is being played.
I don't know chord progressions.
No, but they sound cool.
Yep. I know what sounds cool. I know that Mark Tremonti absolutely rips.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah, you can play me something from Mark Tremonti, and you can for sure look to me to say, that was tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say that was awesome, is what I'll probably say.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
Like, that's awesome.
But in addition to saying things are cool, we'll give our take on the breakdown of the lyrics. So we'll go through the lyrics of every song and give our thoughts on it and maybe a little research about what band members may have said about the song over the years. Love
that. I admittedly I think for this one, you've done a little bit of digging on the background.
Yes.
I am obviously familiar with the song, the lyrics. what I think it means, but I'm interested to hear if there's any actual story behind it.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get into that today.
I think that'll be a fun part of this too, is like, both of us aren't going to have full knowledge of
No.
the background of the songs, the history. And granted, there's going to be some songs with not as much written about them, the lesser known songs.
For sure.
But we will dig as much as we can.
Well said, Reed.
Thank you.
And then after we give our breakdown, I think we'll rate the song. You know, how we feel about it based on how much we like listening to it, where we think it falls in the general zeitgeist, any other factors that we deem applicable.
And how are we going to rate that?
I've thought long and hard about this.
Okay.
And I decided that each song will be rated on a scale of 0 to 5 yeahs.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I was thinking like guitar strings or like thumbs up or stars, but that's all been done.
Classic Scott Stapp, scale.
Exactly. Before we get into our song of the day, which is, of course, Torn on Creed's first studio album, let's talk a little bit about how we came to know Creed. We talked about how you and I established our bond over the band, but do you have a history with Creed? Do you remember when you first heard them?
Yeah, I do. And unfortunately, I'm going to out my age a little bit here.
This is an honesty pod.
This album came out in 1997.
Yes.
I was fall of 97, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't.
Maybe I think it came into my life in the fall of 97.
Okay.
So that was the fall of my senior year of high school.
Okay.
I grew up in Austin, Texas. I was addicted to this album. This was
really?
Like anytime, and I was listening to it on the way here, and I'm flashing back to in my little shitty Chevy S10 Blazer, driving to school, driving to basketball games, basketball practices, soccer practice, with that just burning a hole in the CD player.
I love it.
In the car. So for me, it's always going to remind me of like that last year of high school and all the things that went along with it, whether it was sports or homecoming. And
how did you you owned the CD?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember going out and buying it?
I don't remember like the exact scenario going out and buying it, but I definitely did go to like a Sam Goody or
I was going to ask like
Hastings,
the record store.
One of those record stores at the time. And I vividly remember like even in my room, I had like a CD changer.
Oh, 6 CDs?
Yeah.
Nice, of course.
And it was either 5 or 6. And I remember just sitting in my room, like with the lyric, like the album booklet open, just like making sure that I knew all the words, the songs.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I love that.
I was cool.
Yeah, it's like
I was cool in high school.
Yeah, I'm sure you went to prom and didn't just stay in your basement looking at lyrics to the album.
My prom date might have been the album lyrics, the booklet.
That's awesome.
Album. Yeah,
you could fit that right in your pocket.
Just put a little corsage on it, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
Wait, guys wear corsages? No, girls wear corsages.
I think anyone can wear a corsage.
Guys wear boutonnieres, typically.
Oh,
what it's called?
Yeah.
Little.
Which is weird because I feel like it's two different words for essentially the same thing.
It is
like a flower thing.
It is. It's dumb. It was just to.
That's also a pain in the butt to get on. Yeah. I just remember all the parents helping everyone get it on their date.
Yeah. For the record, I did have a prom date.
I believe you.
I did.
I believe you.
Yeah. It didn't go well, but
no way.
I had a prom date.
Well, that's all that matters, right?
Okay. What about you? Obviously, you're a little younger than me.
A little bit.
So you were listening to this while you were being babysat when you were like
I
five
remember listening to the lyrics of My Own Prison when my diaper was getting changed. No.
That's disturbing.
Yeah, sorry about that. My first intro to Creed was actually not My Own Prison. I think I first came to know them around the time of Human Clay.
Okay.
So around that time, I think that album was released in like early 2000s, 2001 maybe.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Look it up real quick. I think Human Clay was 99.
Oh, you could be right.
So I think they had 3 studio albums from 97 to 91, and then the 4th one didn't come until 2009.
You're right. Okay. September 28th, 1999.
Great.
Okay.
Is that right? So 97, 99, 01, and then a gap.
Got it.
Till 09.
Yeah.
Okay, so go on.
Yeah, so I specifically remember, I don't know why. You know how you just have those memories in your life that you're like, why does that stand out so much?
Yep.
So I was in, I guess, like 3rd or 4th grade, and I was in my music class, that we all had, and we had a music project that was, you had options. It was either like A, maybe write like a song, which is like way too much. B, create your own musical instrument, which is the one I did. Or C, just share music that you really love.
Wait, you chose to build a musical instrument from scratch versus just say what your favorite song is?
Yeah, I don't.
Why?
I have no idea why I would opt for B. Maybe I was just like a little annoying overachiever at like 10 years old.
He still is.
Yeah, I still
still
am.
is.
Yeah.
Yep.
But quick aside, my instrument was sick. I made it with my mommy. And
Stop
it was
talking like that.
okay.
I will come
That
over
was
there
the-
and fucking kill you.
That was the last time. Anyway, we taped like 3 chopsticks together or something, and then put rubber bands to form a triangle, and then we put rubber bands like 5 or 6 down the triangle, and I called it the striangle.
What sound did this triangle make?
I mean, like all the bands sort of made the same sound. I'm not gonna lie, but it was sort of like.
Okay, so like a depressed frog.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I got to be honest,
Yeah.
and not to denigrate the work you put into this triangle.
I got a feeling that's where this is headed.
It sounds cool.
Yeah.
I feel like you could have achieved the same sound just by stretching one rubber band from like index finger to thumb and just flicking it.
Oh, and
Getting
moving
that
your
same
hand.
bow, bow, bow. Yep, and even moved it in and out to
Right.
change the pitch a little bit so it
No.
wasn't fixed. Do you think of that?
No,
God, you're an idiot kid.
I know.
You're
I
a
should have
dumb, you're a
just.
dumb kid.
I should just wrote my own lyrics.
Yep. Or just set your favorite song.
No, you had to do more than that. You had to. Well, that I'll get into it. Another student in my class named Connor, who was kind of a little punk. I mean, maybe not then, but he definitely grew up, became a little bit of a punk.
Fuck Connor.
Yeah,
We're coming for you.
yeah, fuck you.
We're coming for you.
All right, that was a little much.
Okay.
But,
It's all it's
anyway.
entertainment.
yeah. Anyway, it was his turn. He steps up to the front of the class and he holds out a CD copy of Human Clay. And he plays, I don't remember what he says about the song, but he's just like, I really like this song. And he plays With Arms Wide Open. And
Dude, you led with the wrong information about Connor. Now I feel bad. Connor, I'm coming for you to hug you
okay,
and
that's
to buy you a burger or something. Okay?
I mean, that's okay. So he has one redeeming aspect about
That's a
him.
big redeeming aspect.
I mean,
though.
yeah, he introduced
He
me.
introed you to Creed, and here we are.
You don't think I would have found it otherwise? It was on the radio probably all the time.
We will never be able to say.
I
All we
guess.
can do is credit Connor.
Thanks, Connor.
Thanks, Con.
But I'm still pretty upset with you.
That's okay.
Anyway, he plays With Arms Wide Open for the whole class. I don't remember what the general reaction was, but I remember thinking like, "Oh, sick! I want to know more of that." And then from there on, I just probably listened to more of their discography and came to appreciate Creed the way I do now. To have my own stinking podcast about it.
I love that. So wait, so what grade did you say you were in?
I want to say like 3rd or 4th.
Okay, so you're like 9, 10 years old?
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
right. That was sort of around the time of like AIM chat. And I remember, I think Connor had like, when you'd sign in or sign off, it like door opening, door closing. He like, exactly. He modified each to be the little lick from higher. So every time he'd come on or off, it'd go like,
Dude, I didn't even know you could customize.
oh yeah, you could customize, but it would drive your friends insane if you had something really specific. Like I almost got sick of that riff. And that's like the dopest riff ever.
He almost ruined it.
I know.
Connor,
So
you're back in my
yeah, you're
crosshairs,
back in
Connor.
the shit list.
But thank you for everything. Also,
Yeah.
we love you.
Yeah, so we really have a mixed relationship, but if he ever hears this and wants to reach out, I'm available. You know where to find me.
Would have you on the podcast, Connor.
Wow, could you imagine
I can.
on our with Arms Wide Open episode? Please come on.
Please, Connor.
That would be so epic.
What's his last name?
I'm-
Do you want to say?
No, I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I'm not gonna dox Connor.
Okay.
Actually, he's one of those guys from high school. I have like no idea what he's doing because he's like not involved in social media or anything. So
he might be like a mobster.
he could be anything from like a mobster to like a
Maybe CIA.
fisherman
Yeah.
or a CIA.
Or he could be part of like the secret fire police.
Is that a thing?
It was like undercover firemen.
That sounds sweet.
You didn't know that? There are undercover
I can't tell.
firehouses.
I can't tell if you're fucking with me right now.
You might never know.
Okay, we'll
Look it up
discuss
though.
this
Undercover
later.
fireman. It's a job.
Undercover firemen. Maybe that's what Creed fans will
They
be called.
walk among us, and you never even know, but they're there. It's like, there's a marshal on U.S. Marshal on every flight, but you don't know who it is.
Is that still true?
Down.
I always thought that was like a...
I don't know. They might just be telling us that so we behave, because like people do shit on planes, and I'm like, why are other passengers restraining it if there's a U.S. Marshal on the plane, or an air marshal, whatever they're called?
So we behave like good widow passengers.
I'm going to kick you.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
So I think we should get into our song for the day.
Let's do it.
So you may have already realized, because of the name of the episode and because it's the title track on their first studio album, today we're talking about Torn. Now, Reed, before we really get into the factoids of Torn and some of the details of the lyrics, do you have any initial thoughts on the song?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great introduction. I think they might have picked the perfect song to lead it off, even though I don't remember exactly how long, but I know the song is in excess of 6 minutes, which is insanely long for like a first track. But from the vocals, from the first thing we hear out of Scott Stapp's mouth, it's like this drawn out, like you know his voice. And then, I mean, the lyrics are intense. Like we kind of find out what they're going to be tackling. What kind of subject matter. Like this is not Chili Peppers. This is not Lit. This is this is not like party. It's not party
no,
rock. This is we're gonna talk about some shit.
Yeah,
rock, which is cool.
What about when you were in your basement instead of going to prom? Do you remember this song at all? Like, do you have a connection with it, or do you mostly remember like some of the singles?
I remember just like crying until I passed out. Mostly to this song on prom. Yeah.
Because I asked that because do you want to talk about it?
No.
Okay.
Want to talk about Torn?
Okay, good, because that's the subject of the episode. Yeah, I don't have as many strong memories associated with this song as I have with other ones, obviously, like the major singles or even some of the other standout songs from the album. But revisiting it, I do really like it. Like you said, it's a 6-minute song, and I think it's like the perfect introduction to find out who Creed is, because of that long drawn out vocals, because of that riff at the top that just sounds very Mark Tremonti. I think it's just like, hey world, we're Creed. This is what we sound like. Get ready.
Yep.
In terms of the history of the song, I'm going to give you some factoids about it that maybe you didn't know.
Okay.
Because
I'm going to kind of know everything. Go, try me.
Well, as I mentioned, this is obviously the first track on their album, My Own Prison, which released in 97. It was the second single released off the album, so I don't know if that tells you anything about it. Like, the band clearly had some confidence in this song being, a standout. Credited writers on the song are Mark Tremonti and Scott Stapp. But in his autobiography, Sinner's Creed, which I've been reading, and the first chapter of that book is legitimately just wild.
Is a Scott Stapp autobiography, or is it the whole band?
Just Scott Stapp.
Okay.
And quick aside, what's the difference between an autobiography and a memoir? Because it might be a memoir.
An autobiography is just like you sit down and it automatically comes out.
Like your fingers just start moving?
Yep, because it's automatic. That's the auto part of it. A memoir is like you have to sit down and remember things.
Got it.
So it's like, what are you in the mood for?
Got it. I think it's that one, because I don't think Scott Stapp's fingers move automatically, as far as I know.
You never know. Mark Tremonti's do.
Well, anyway, yeah, fast.
Yeah.
Scott said in the book that Mark actually wrote the entire song, the music and the lyrics on his own.
That's interesting, because I think they're both credited as writing music and lyrics on every song on this album, right?
Yeah, including that one.
Huh.
So I don't know if that gives you any, might change how you feel about the lyrics. And then, okay, well, some of the other ones of the facts I want to get after we talk about the lyrics, so that I can see how they compare to your interpretation of the lyrics. So starting out with the first verse, as we mentioned, starts with that long drawn-out piece, is what they tell me. Love, am I unholy? Lies are what they tell me. Despise you that control me.
Mm-hmm. All right. I mean, heavy.
Yeah.
Also, who is they? Who is you?
Mm-hmm.
This is like conspiracy shit almost at the gate of like, actually, I don't think it's conspiracy stuff, but it's like the you and the they being undefined, I think he's talking to just like the world at large, society at large, whenever at the time that he wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, can you read them one more time, please?
Peace is what they tell me. Love, am I unholy? Lies are what they tell me. Despise you that control me.
Yeah, I mean, I think clearly he is questioning the world, questioning what he's been told, what he's been taught. And, you know, maybe is even having some self-doubt on himself, like thinking he is unholy, that he's been lied to. You know, it's like peace is what they've told, what they tell me. I've been told all these good things, these feel-good things, and it's not the way the world works, man.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. It seems like he's coming to a realization of sort of that these lies or this that he's being fed or this facade that's put up in front of him that he's coming to realize is like, well, this isn't really true. Maybe there's more truth to the world or my perception of the world than what's actually being fed to me.
Yeah, man. There always is.
Always is. Question everything.
Yes. Believe nothing. Don't trust. No, you can trust. You can trust
science is
cool.
legit.
It's okay.
So moving on to the chorus. The peace is dead in my soul.
Ooh.
This is where it gets
Ooh.
even heavier. I have blamed the reasons for, my intentions poor. Yes, I'm the only one who would carry on this far.
The two lines that stick out to me from that little section is like, the peace is dead in my soul is a crazy thing to say. Like,
yeah, I never really thought about that.
I mean, that's an insane, like, emo thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's me on prom night, right?
Right, with the booklet in your basement.
Yes, like
boutonniere.
Crying, thinking the peace is dead in my soul.
Right.
At 17. Oh, God. But I think we also, on the end of this, we see a little, and now it's a little different now that I know that Mark wrote it, but Scott sung it. So, because like this is a little glimpse of the bravado of
Interesting.
Creed, of like that attitude of like, especially with like the thing that Scott Stapp kind of came to embody of like this almost mythical, like martyr-like figure, known for the almost like the on the cross pose.
Right.
And so the line of like, I'm the only one who would carry on this far is like, dude, okay. Maybe you're not the only one, but like, yeah, you're doing it.
Right. Well, it's funny you say that because I watched that video podcast of Scott Stapp talking to Theo Von the other day, which is really interesting.
I love that he was on Theo Von.
It's a great pod. It was like
tight.
Really impactful, but there was a part where he was talking about living in his car and just not having things figured out, and like the reason that he was able to push through was partly because of his ego. And even though, as we discussed, like Scott Stapp didn't write this song, he didn't write the lyrics to it, I do think there's that shared sense of kind of like you said, of ego, being like, I'm the only one who could fucking do this.
Yeah.
Even though that wasn't my initial interpretation, but when you said that, and when Scott said that, I'm like, there's definitely some of that ego in there to be like, he's the only one that could realize the torturedness of what society's presenting to him, and he's the only one that could like be strong enough to carry through this BS.
And to be clear, I think the ego part of it is part of what made Creed who they were.
For sure.
Like his personality, like him dialing into that and leaning into that was believable and was what part of made like their music what it was to me. It's like, I don't think it's a bad thing.
I think, I haven't thought about this, but now that we're talking about it, it's like that's sort of what separates Creed and their lyrics, at least in this song, to like, emo music, which we also really like. But I think there's that bravado with Creed, even though like life is shit, but I'm awesome. Whereas I think in the more emo music that we like, whether it's like All Time Low or I'm really into this band called Tiger's Jaw and, tons of others. But I feel like that's the separating factor is that there's that level of ego of like, I can overcome all this awesomeness. And the other one is like sort of more of an expression of emotion and like suffering.
Is dark rock and roll just emo with an ego?
Like grunge, maybe?
Like, is it?
Could be. I mean, I'm thinking of other, grunge, post-grunge bands that maybe like, but I know Nirvana and Pearl Jam jump to mind, but I feel like Kurt Cobain didn't have that level of, I could be wrong. I don't know enough.
Yeah, well, anyway, not quite the bravado of Scotty.
Stappy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Let's move to the next verse. Torn, I'm filthy, born in my own misery, stole all that you gave me, control, you claim you saved me.
Yeah, to me, this one hits on upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, can you read it one more time?
Of course. Torn. That's the title of the track.
Yep.
I'm filthy. Sorry. I'm filthy.
Like, just admitting it's like I'm a dirtbag. Like, I'm unpure, unclean, like not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Born in my own misery.
Yep. I think he's saying there I was born into a bad situation. Like I didn't necessarily choose this. It's something I'm fighting now, but like I was born into misery.
Stole all that you gave me. Do you think he stole it or they stole it?
I think he's saying he had to fight for everything that he had. Because it seems like he's talking to other people the whole time. So I think it'd be weird to switch that up. I think he's saying that he had to like fight and claw and steal, beg, borrow, steal for everything.
Mm-hmm. Control, you claim, you save me.
This is more, I mean, people are going to tell you they can fix you, they can save you, they've got what you need to get on the right path. I think he's saying, like, no, none of that resonated with me. Mm-hmm. Like, you're just trying to control me. You're not trying to help me. You're trying to hold me down. And I'm ready to fucking break out.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
That's what I hear. What about you?
Yeah. I mean, I know a little bit more about the context of this song, but I think...
he thinks he knows so much more than me.
I know how to use a search engine.
He does.
Yeah. But I'm inclined to agree. I think control, you claim, you save me is like... It's sort of like when you're... I don't know why this is an example that comes to mind, but like your parents tell you to drink milk or something, or they claim they know what's best for you.
Or like do their taxes.
Yeah, Mom, like, I don't want to file your 1099.
File my divorce papers.
Oh, God.
What?
We got to get back to this after the prom discussion off pod. But just that other people don't always know what's best for you. Yeah. And that they think they're doing so much for you when in reality maybe you're suffering, or maybe there's a different path that you know that you need to take.
Mama knows best.
Yeah.
I love you, Mom.
Mommy always knows what to do.
God damn it, Andrew.
Last one. That wasn't the last one. So that's almost all the lyrics. The last part is pretty crazy. It's the bridge where he says, "Peace in my head, love in my head, lies, 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 lies in my head."
I really love this part
because
peace in my head, love in my head. This is what it's a happy song if you just isolate those lyrics. Like peace and love is like
peace and love, peace and love.
Wait, what's that accent?
Oh, sorry.
Is that Irish?
There's like this Ringo Starr thing where I forget. He just like tells people like stop sending him fan mail or something, and he just goes like, maybe it was like a recording on social media. He's just like, "I'm sending this with peace and love, peace and love. Stop sending mail, peace and love."
I've never heard of that.
I'm gonna find it. I probably just absolutely obliterated what actually happened, but
I'd prefer you talking like that all the time over your baby voice.
I love the baby voice.
Or you could do a Ringo Starr baby.
Mommy.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Go on to what we were saying.
So like peace and love is, dude. That's like just hippy dippy, like dreamy. Like everyone wants that. And then to follow that up with what he says, lies 4 times, correct?
Correct.
To follow that up with just lies, 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 is like pretty crazy. So there's this moment of like, hey, peace in my head, love in my head, like we got it figured out. And it's like, nope. So I think he's saying even when you think you've got it, you think you got everything figured out, like don't forget that like the world you came up in, you grew up being lied to. You grew up being controlled. So don't necessarily fall for the fake shit.
Yeah, that's the impression I'm getting too. I think it's almost like peace in my head, question mark.
Oh,
love in my head,
here's a question
mark. Yeah, because I think the message of the song is like you were saying. It's just like you're being fed all this crap, and that's not all true. It's what you need to think for yourself. I think that's what he's going for here. So it's like the peace in my head, love in my head. No, lies, 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 dude.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard it as a question. Now I don't want to listen to the song again.
Well, I don't know if I hear the inflection of a question, but
it doesn't matter. But that's what how you're interpreting it.
Exactly.
That's cool. I dig that.
You dig it?
I dig, man.
Well, I wonder if you'll dig more when I tell you more about the song. That didn't work.
Is this going to ruin it for me?
No, I think it'll be fun.
Okay.
Okay, so I have here, in an interview with Rolling Stone, Tremonti said, I wrote the music for Torn shortly before Creed became a band. It was one of the first guitar riffs I ever wrote, and I just held on to it because I loved it so much. The lyrics came later, and it ended up becoming one of our biggest hits. Tremonti later told Rolling Stone it was one of his favorites. I probably should have led with that because that doesn't really indicate much with regards to...
A guy in the band liked the song. Breaking fucking news.
Does that change your interpretation?
Oh, yeah.
No, but that is...
Now I think it's about the military-industrial complex.
Yeah, I think you got it.
Thank you. I'm out of here.
Well, that's a fun fact. But with regard to the meaning, Tremonti told the Buffalo News, one day I came home from work at about 3 a.m. I was all dirty and stinky and hating my life. So I just wrote a song about what it's like being a kid between 18 and 23 when you haven't graduated from school yet and you don't know what you're going to do with your life. It's about how hard that period of time is. When you're broke, you have to work 2 jobs to go to school. I was at a hard point in my life, so I wrote a song about it. And then I saw in another source, apparently he was a cook at Chili's.
No way.
That's what some source on the internet told me.
Can I just tell you something? I not so secretly love Chili's.
Yeah?
Oh, dude. Southwest egg rolls.
I feel like they do those everywhere though now.
It doesn't matter, dude. No one does them like Chili's.
That's fair.
I had a night, it was like in the fall, where I went to Chili's and Olive Garden. I did apps at Chili's and then dinner at Olive Garden.
God, what a night.
I know. Doesn't get any better than that.
Is there a Chili's in L.A.?
This was in like South Bay somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Like kind of for those listening, like south of L.A., like I think maybe like Manhattan Beach or
I didn't know there was
Beach,
one there. I used to fucking adore Chili's too. I haven't been in a while, but
it's still good. If you want to go after this,
up.
we can go after this.
All right.
We'll get a awesome blossom.
Dude, that was my thing.
They're so good.
Every birthday I had when I was like between the ages of like 7 and 14, we would like, our parents would let us pick where we want to go for dinner. And I would like always pick Chili's.
Hell yeah, brother.
And my dad would be like, I don't want to go to Chili's. But I was like, Dad, I need to get my awesome blossom fix. And I need those fajitas that just like light up the whole room.
Fajitas. You remember the skillet queso too? Or was that just in Texas?
That sounds like a very, like that, like I grew up in Philadelphia, the greater Philadelphia area.
Oh, that's great.
And it is great.
Okay.
And I like didn't know what Mexican food was, I think, until a trip to Tucson.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, like a fajitas at Chili's are probably the closest thing, which is like an abomination.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of like Tex-Mex, I don't think that existed where we were.
So your Chili's did not have the skillet, like it was like ground beef and queso, and it's served on like a little hot skillet, kind of like the fajitas came in.
I don't think so.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Missed out, dude.
Yeah, I really did. Sounds like.
Ooh, okay, I'm fucking starving.
You know the problem though?
Finish this.
We're getting there. We're getting toward the end of the episode. But the heartbreaker for me is that they don't do the Awesome Blossom anymore.
Wait, what?
That's as far as I know. Yeah, they don't do it. They conceded that what's the name of it? Outback Steakhouse has the better.
Oh, the Bloomin' Onion.
Yeah, the Bloomin' Onion. I fucking love
the Bloomin' Onion's good too.
I know. I always like the Awesome Blossom a little better, but
why would they discontinue? Did like someone from Outback Steakhouse come over and say they were going to beat them up?
Yeah, I think like
it's
Outback
Steve. It's not a copyright issue. It's an onion.
Yeah, I know. That was my thought too. But like, I don't know. Maybe like Outback Joe came out. Was like, you gotta stop making it fried onion because it's my thing.
Yeah. And then Chili Chuck was like, oh man, but like our customers really like it.
Yeah, people seem to enjoy it. Maybe it was probably that.
That's probably
maybe no one was ordering it.
That's probably how it went down.
All right.
I was ordering it. Sorry, that was a tangent. But to sum up, Chili's, I love you.
Well, you might not anymore.
Well, I think I probably still.
Because
I still do. I was there like 6 months ago.
Yeah, that's pretty
rad. It was still good.
And I guess, the added benefit of Chili's now is that it led to the formation of, not the formation of Creed, but to the rise of one of their hit singles.
Yeah. Hard times in a Northwest Tallahassee Chili's is what were the fires that forged one Mark Tremonti.
The fires forged. Creed forged in the fires
of a Tallahassee Chili's.
Wow, what an epic story.
Hell yeah. Sorry, let's
back to the song.
I'll refocus.
Well, I mean, doesn't that kind of impact your interpretation of the lyrics? I mean, especially for me, when I think of that context, I just go back to that verse that says, "Torn, I'm filthy, born in my own misery," because it's like he's filthy from fry oil, and cooking up blooming onion or awesome blossoms.
I'm not gonna say it ruins the song for me because the song can never be ruined, but I don't know that I'll be able to listen to it now without thinking that Mark wrote this just about like some manager at Northwest Tallahassee Chili's and like the way that he was treating him. Like, was this guy like stealing tips and like just like taking away his shifts without telling him? And like Mark's like, oh no, I'm gonna write a song about you. Like lies.
God damn it. Chili's Chuck, like, what have you done to me?
Torn is about Chili's.
It's about Chili's Chuck. Well, now you can't listen to it without getting hungry, too.
No, I'm actually genuinely starving.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting pretty hungry, too.
It's only 11:15 in the morning, and I'm ravishly hungry. I should have
let you know to eat more before this.
Wait, does that change it for you? I mean, you obviously read that information before. I'm just learning it. So this is shocking for me.
I guess maybe a little bit. I don't know. I think with regard to the music itself, like I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing like meaning and how it affects me. But when you think about how angsty it is pretty amusing to think like it's about Chili's. But like also
not thinking about Chili's.
I'd like to think like when he's penning the song, he's not like fucking Chili's. It's more like, oh, man, life is hard. I'm writing this song.
But what if the they that he's singing is like Chili's corporate, and the you he's singing about is like Trevor Spaghetti or whatever the fucking manager's name was? Like, what if that's genuinely who he's singing to?
It's now definitely Trevor Spaghetti. Fucking Trevor Spaghetti, Mary Holla. They're just ruining my life.
Yeah. Guys, if you were a Chili's manager or assistant manager or executive listening to this, maybe think about your employees.
Yeah.
Your food is amazing. We're set there.
Yeah, everything's good on that.
How are we treating people?
Or Chili's managers out there, maybe continue to ride your employees as hard as you can so that they'll pen more amazing art.
Forge more people in the fires.
Forged in the fire of a Tallahassee Chili's. Guys, if you want to use that,
yeah, feel free. But
hook us up.
Yeah, we're coming to Tallahassee too.
I've never been.
I never have either.
I've been to Florida a bunch, but
I worked in Florida as a cabana boy for 4 months
in Miami or something.
No, in Sandestin. Sandestin's the name of the resort in Destin, Florida, like the Panhandle.
Oh, okay, cool.
Upper part, beautiful there. So much fun.
Were people like, "Hey, cabana boy, I need more tequila."
That's exactly what they did. Yeah. You asshole.
I'm not trying to make you feel bad.
I basically flirted with middle-aged women for tips.
Oh, man, you'd be great at that.
Yeah. I was. It was fun.
Yeah. That's awesome. If you penned a song, it would probably be like way hornier than this.
Yes. Like if I was at Chili's but horny.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to hear that tune.
Coming.
Okay.
Coming soon.
Well, my last fact about the song, which again I think is influenced by what we now know, is that Scott Stapp said to MTV News in 1998 that forgiveness is a focal point of Torn. It deals with the issues of forgiveness. It reaches out, but the vulnerability of trusting somebody scares the shit out of you. Now, it seems a little bit different than what our interpretation of the song was, and based on Tremonti's explanation of where the inspiration for the song came. So how does that influence maybe what you think of the song?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have not was not thinking forgiveness. I'm trying to think of like a line that might at least imply that. I mean, you're looking at the lyrics right now.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just that I am getting out and processing all this stuff, and that's like a step in forgiveness.
That's
like
what I was
first
gonna say.
saying like what it is that I like. I don't know. What do you think? I'm a little lost on that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say actually kind of what you already alluded to, but the fact that like, you know, when you are forgiving somebody that maybe you've held all this anger on toward, you can't really just, I mean, maybe you can just let it go if that's who you are, but I think for a lot of people, like you need to express that anger, that frustration, and I think maybe Scott's alluding to the fact that like it's about forgiveness because he's just like screaming all this energy out toward the world and letting it go. But at the same time, he mentions that line about like, you know, being vulnerable and trusting somebody scares you, and I'm having trouble finding that in the song.
Yeah.
Because
Scott, what do you mean?
yeah, I think
What did you mean?
ultimately we're just gonna have to have him on the pod.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
Which is our dream.
Catered by Chili's.
That might be like traumatic for some people involved. Okay, well, those are all the lyrics and those are all the facts I have about it. So I think all that comes down to is rating the song.
But can we agree? Okay, maybe not agree, but can we just acknowledge that the song might be about Chili's?
It's for
Like
sure.
It might be about Mark's experience at Chili's.
Well, I think you mentioned you worked in 2 restaurants, so it could also just as easily be about like Texas Roadhouse. Is that the name of the restaurant?
It is. That is a restaurant.
I'm just thinking of restaurants that have fried onion appetizers.
They're the ones that they used to have peanuts on the floor.
Oh, really? You can't do that anymore.
No, they stopped doing that.
Yeah. Well, does Five Guys still might do that, or do they?
They have them on the floor, but they have peanuts
Yeah.
because they cook everything in peanut oil, which is why they have all those peanuts.
Yeah, that's why my niece is allergic to peanuts, so gotta stay away from that.
Sorry, Allison.
Close enough.
Whatever, Chloe.
Closer.
Let's okay. Rate it. Let's
Yeah.
rate it. Okay. Yeah.
Out of yes, not peanuts.
Yep. Wow. Okay. So this, I'll always appreciate that it was like the first song on the first album, my introduction, like you, like, well, a different song was your introduction, but this first song, well, actually I probably heard, My Own Prison first, but first song on the album, solid song, not one of my like absolute favorites. I'm going to say we're out of 5, correct?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to give it can we go halves?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. You can go quarters if you want, man.
Okay. I'm going to give it I'll give it 2.75.
Oh,
Yes.
interesting. Okay.
So I don't want to score too high cuz we got a lot of songs to go.
Yeah, we got a lot to cover.
A lot of good ones.
Yeah, I think that's what makes this hard is like going back and listening to My Own Prison. I do think Torn is one of the better songs on the album.
Okay.
I think we'll get to it later, but like obviously My Own Prison is like the inspiration for the name of the podcast.
Yep.
Like I love that song. But I do think Torn rips.
It definitely rips.
Yeah. And I love, like I said, the riff at the top. I love that you really get to know like Tremonti's sound, like because you become familiar with the tone of his guitar, and I think that really is showcased here. And it's maybe like a little angrier than I've come to love Creed for, and angsty, but I do think it rips. I do love the bridge, and it is one on the album that I think stands out above the others. Maybe not as high as My Own Prison or One or some other ones I love on there, but I would give it on a scale of 0 to 5 years.
Rate it.
I think I'd go just a little bit higher. I think I'd go like 3.25 years.
Okay.
Because I know I'm going to need room for like the high 3s and 4s. And I don't know how many, it's hard to have a 5. I don't know how many Creed songs will have a 5. I know maybe 1 or 2 that I think are 5s, but I want to be critical, because I do think that the perfect song has to be reserved for only like a couple songs.
And we should say we're trying to, or at least I am, trying to temper the scores a little bit because we do love Creed so much.
Right.
It's like, I don't want to overscore just based on my bias.
Right.
Like I'm trying to exist within that and rate them accordingly.
Oh, so that's a good clearing. We should clear it up. Like when we're rating a song from 0 to 5, if you gave it a 2.75 like you did, is that as a song or as a Creed song? I guess I should say.
I'm saying it's a Creed song.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I'm kind of like ordering and ranking like the catalog to me, scoring the catalog to me.
Right.
No one's like Creed. Who are we going to compare him to?
Exactly.
Come on.
So yeah, even though it gave it a 2.75, I'd still think you like it as a song.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
I love it as a song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to say about Torn?
No, I mean it's aptly named. I think. Okay, yes, there was something else I want to
Okay.
say. No, and then here we go. Like I think it's aptly named, and aptly named is a lead song because they do, as a band, like their lyrics and content grapples with things. I think just like by nature of saying torn, if you're saying like I'm torn between two things, you're acknowledging that there's like sides to the world. That like I'm either fighting to find what's right, fighting to find my path. So I think it's a simple seeming name, but just like chef's kiss on the like symbolism from it for like what kind of stuff they will sing about.
Agreed.
What about you?
Yeah, no, I like what you said about the title. I think it perfectly sums up sort of the general theme of the song. And I think with that, we've covered Torn.
Dude, we did it. We did it. We figured it out.
We did, and we broke the doors open for My Own Prison. And thank you so much for joining us as we went on this journey, and as we'll continue to go on this journey. There's going to be more fun songs to break down. There's going to be more weird tangents about
Chili's.
Connor and Chili's.
Mostly Chili's.
And more segments. And we're really excited to dive deep into Creed discography.
Dude, I can't wait. I'm fucking pumped to do this with you. Like, this was so much fun.
This is awesome.
And, like, there's so many more songs.
Well, with that, Reed, I think it's time we make our escape. Again, I'm Andrew Colin.
I'm Reid Fenlaw.
And this was My Own Podcast. Bye.
See ya.